Welcome to Season 3, Episode 1 of...
Savage Discourse.
Fuck! You son of a bitch.
Fuck you.
Right off the fucking bat. Welcome to Fuck You!
No mercy, bitch. The season's metal.
Welcome back. For those of you who remember us being in Season 1 an intellectual place to have hold a conversation, we've now devolved into some sort of sonic diarrhea.
That is accurate. Oh, nice. Well, here we are. Season 3, Episode 1.
Yep.
It's about damn time. Highly requested by many people. What's that sound?
I want to be able to hear... I want to be...
What'd you do, John?
Dude, is this on my voice?
Yes.
Has my voice been like this the whole
Yes.
time?
No, not until you pressed a button.
No, we just couldn't hear it. Oh my god.
Are we gonna roll with it?
Yeah,
we're
hold
too
on. Let
deep
me see if
now.
I can turn it off. Okay, is that better? Okay, that's better. Oh, wait. There, is that better? No.
Nothing's changed.
But it's not the deep voice.
For those of you that don't know, we are professionals.
Yeah?
We know exactly what we're doing.
There we go. Hold on. I know what the issue is. Is that better?
I guess.
There we go. There we go. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Make sure you're talking real close to your mic.
Oh my fucking god! Every time.
I'll just have to increase the volume.
Here. Is that better?
That's... Well, your blips are still looking super tiny. Here, talk now.
Hi.
That's looking a little better.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll work. I just needed to turn your mic up. On,
Shouldn't we do this before we start
on the
recording?
preamp. Shut up. Dude, Season 3 sucks.
Somehow we've gotten worse.
Who did this to us?
Dude, I think we've lost our mojo.
Dude,
You
no.
take several months off.
It's only been a few. Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Well, what can you say? You know, life just gets in the way.
When life gives you lemons.
We've been very busy.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you guys for joining us for Season 3, Episode 1 of Savage Discourse.
Bye-bye.
At 3 minutes. No. Don't do that. And Finn, cut. That's art. Wrap it. Wrap it, tap it, sell it, slap it. Think about your dad. Dude, have we ever talked about that?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
So, I don't remember if it was me or one of my many hilarious friends, but somebody when we were younger made up a joke about the Bop It, and but it was like a really disappointing Bop It, and it would be it's like a bad time Bop It, and so you'd be doing it, and it'd be like bop it, twist it, keep going, flick it, think about your dad. What was your dad like? Think about your failures. You're never going back to college. Think about your life.
Oh, God.
Flick it.
That's called the Stop It.
Dude, shut up. Every bar's worth a kilo. Ooh.
Oh, man. How have you been, John? I haven't seen you in a few months.
Dude, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Speaking of, did you see Who's It Louder Than Life this year?
Stan.
Stan.
Mr. Stan.
Mr. Stan himself.
Who ironically won't stand up during a set.
He'll stand up to flick off the audience.
Dude.
For those of you who don't know, at the Louder Than Life, I think of 2019, the lead singer of Stan... like, if you close your eyes, it was a perfect set. Louder Than Life is a giant music rock fest that Louisville, Kentucky puts on, which is where we live. And this year is going to be Lady Teddy, my baby.
Yeah.
But anyway, the guy from Stain, they were headlining, I think, Friday or Saturday. And literally, if you close your eyes, it sounded perfectly like the album. But if you looked at him, he was sitting with a drink in one hand, a cigarette in the other. He didn't stand the entire time, to our memory. And then at the very end, he stood up and flicked everybody off and walked off stage.
Yeah.
After singing flawlessly.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it was probably the best performance I've ever seen in my life. And the only reason we were there was so we could have good spots for Slipknot.
Yep, that's right.
And conversely, they put in a ton of effort, but their shows are just impossible to do good live, I think.
Dude, I thought they did amazing.
They did really good. It's just they're so like hectic and chaotic. You can't really. It's hard to. I don't know. It's hard to sing clearly through all that. You know.
Yeah. Well, they got the. Kyle told me years ago that the lead singer of Slipknot, Corey Taylor,
it was at That Louder Than Life. It was.
Well, that is years ago.
All right.
And he told me that the lead singer Corey Taylor is actually the singer of the fucking completely opposite sounding group, Stone Sour.
Mm-hmm.
I see you looking through the glass. I wanna put it in your ass. All I know is that oh goddamn, it feels like forever. No one ever sees you. But I was like, there's no way that is the same dude until I looked it up on Wikipedia. The place for all eternal truth. Kyle was right. Is that what you want me to fucking say?
Yes, I've wanted you to say that for years.
Kyle, you're right.
This man dismissed it so quickly.
I was standing in the audience and I was like, no, that's impossible.
Like he literally thought that it was just me fucking with him, like I would ever do that.
So for those of you who don't know, Kyle never stops fucking with anybody. Like he talks about simulation theory, and tonight the theory was posed that he might actually be the creator Matrix style or the architect.
Who's to say?
Probably you.
You'll never know.
I won't.
Dude, if I was God, I wouldn't tell anyone. I'd be fucking with all of you all, kind of like I am now, but to a much higher extent. A much higher level.
You'd be like, you ever wonder why you never stay at a job longer than 6 months? That's me, motherfucker. You ever wonder why that polyp in your anus keeps getting worse? That's me, motherfucker.
But not enough to kill you. Small miracles. Go fuck yourself.
Small.
But not in the ass. Stay away from that polyp.
Dude, so that actually, I'm glad that we bumfucked our way onto this next topic. I wanted to talk about one of the things. I have a lot of things to talk about. And one of those things that I wanted to talk about today was that, did you know, Kyle, when I was a wee little boy, I used to pack up my Bible in its old leather-bound bookcase, and I'd take it next to my knapsack and my deodorant and my assorted toiletries, and I'd go off to good boy Christian camp.
Yeah.
You did know that?
Yeah.
No. I used to go to Camp Pioka, which is a Presbyterian church camp.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent a lot of my years there, and I have actually been thinking a lot about it.
Oh, yeah? What, you got any good stories?
Yeah.
Did you find God there?
Well, actually, I do want to talk about that. Because I did think I found God there. So this is what's really...
This is just a Playboy magazine.
What?
So was it just a Playboy magazine?
Not even the centerfold, just an article.
Whoa.
No,
Whoa.
I was like, yo, whoa, that's cool.
Check it out, baby. It's God.
Whoa, how many butts does he have? You are abnormally good at that. That is actually really, you need to take that on the road. Anyway, so at church camp, so I would go every summer, and it was really interesting because two things. One, the week that we would go, so my mom introduced me. I used to read a lot, and I read a lot now, but back then I used to read a lot of fiction. And so my fiction...
Like the Bible.
That was a good one. My fiction of choice, but a lot more exciting. My fiction of choice, and a lot more British rather than Arabic. My book of my fiction of choice was Harry Potter. My mom got me into. I'm dropping bars. Was Harry Potter, but his birthday was the day they came out, and it was like June something, like 11th, 12th, 13th, or 14th. And if you can correct me and you know his actual birthday, just put it in the comments.
You talking about Harry Potter?
Yeah, Harry P. His birthday is like the books are written from like the day of his birthday, especially the first ones, like him going back to Hogwarts for that school year, and it starts on his birthday. And so they released the book on his birthday, which is really cool. Which is actually really cool. And so I'd get it and go to church camp where they were not allowed I'm just kidding, they didn't care.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a Pentecostal or Southern Baptist camp.
Yeah, well, my mom was convinced that Harry Potter was like witchcraft shit, and I shouldn't have anything to do with that. And then my grandpa was like, no, it's fine. She was like, okay, you can look at Harry Potter now.
All it took was your grandpa dropping dick.
Yeah.
He's like, let the boy read.
He just wanted to watch the movies with me. I didn't fucking read. You kidding me?
I don't know. I'm illiterate. Wait, we need to circle back around to that.
All right.
Dude, so anyway, oh my God, I have so much to talk about today. See, this is why we wait and start a new season, because I've got so much shit to say. So, the book come. Sorry, that was just an irrelevant thing. That was a really cool thing. Also, did I tell you that the very first time I ever experienced the bliss of a post-prepubescent, which I guess would just be pubescent,
yes,
orgasm was when I came back from church camp?
No.
So the very first time. Okay, so up until in 7th or 8th grade, I have vivid memories of sitting around. Like, they used to sit kids at like the 4 table, like 1, 2, 3, 4 kids, and they would like push 4 desks together, like a little pod, like of not orchids,
yes,
but like an organism that destroys the world. And we would sit there, and I just remember everyone sitting there talking about how many times they did it in quotation marks, and what that means was how many times you fucking blew Pearl Jam all over your sheets. Did you know that Pearl Jam is a euphemism for cum?
No.
Dude, isn't that crazy?
It
They're
is.
one of the most boring, generic alternative bands.
You're wrong. They're actually pretty good.
We've already done this episode. Anyway, so back then, I thought literally the only thing... I literally believed in my heart of hearts that an orgasm back then, to what I knew... This is pre-internet, actual... It was just boys on the back of the bus talking about where a lady's vagina was and how to do it, which nobody knew. They, because they always... The older kids would be like, until you have sex ed, you don't know, but here's what you do. You pee on a girl's tummy, and you're like, oh.
That's how babies are made.
Dude, it is. It goes in the belly button.
Dude.
It's like a watermelon seed.
I was told it was the ass.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. This is my adult friend.
Dude, the ass is... Oh, that's right. Dude, the most fertile, the most barren land, the ass. Nothing grows there except just decay.
He'd watch enough dogs fuck that he knew. He was like, that's definitely going in that ass. And so it was.
Dude, that's so true, because observationally it does look like they're...
Yeah. He's like, dude, that's the promised land.
He's like, I know what I'm gonna tell Kyle. I know how this happens now.
He's like, dude, we gotta go fuck some girls in the ass.
Dude. And so so anyway, I thought that whenever you squeeze it, for those of you who don't know the male anatomy, the penis has there's several fluids. One is is like a pre-semen mixture. It's like lubrication. It has like a little bit of semen and it's like clear, and that's like what accompanies. I'm sure there's a technical, medical, anatomical word for it, but so I thought that was orgasmic. So I would literally imagine like taking a Twinkie or Ho-Oh or some assorted like cake and
you say a Ho-Oh like the Pokemon?
A Ho-Ho. Oh, a Ho-Ho, sorry.
Yeah.
Not a Ho-Oh. Squeezing it until like the inner filling dripped out the other side. That's literally what I did. Like I squeezed it until I saw that and I was like, guess I came.
Dude, that was fucking dope.
Yeah, no mood change, no anything, and I was like, man, this is nuts.
I hope my underwear doesn't get pregnant.
So I would go to school and they would be like, "Oh man!" And we're all somewhere in pubescent boys.
Stop trying.
Shut up.
Stop trying that combo of words.
Dude. DJ name is DJ illiterate. So I was trying to. I would go there and they would be like, "Oh man, I did it 6 or 7 times," which is like a lot, but not for kids on the brink of discovering orgasms. And I would be like, "I did it 15 times," and they'd be like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, like fucking call me Ropes." I just blowing out loads. And they were like, that is literally unbelievable. And I was like, well, that's just how it is. And then when I went to church camp, like we always shower in our what?
Nothing.
What you got?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So I go to church camp, and because the showers were in a centralized hallway, like you'd walk around. It's like the hall, like basically the building was an eye, and then like the inner thinner parts of the eye were the shower, and on the other side there was a camp counselor bunk, and on the two like links of the eye, like the H part of the eye. Dude, this is so technical. The H part of the eye. Who just thought alphabet?
H part of the eye.
The H part of the eye was where the kid beds were.
All right.
the camper beds. So we I would always wear. I was really insecure about my penis. I still am, but I hide it under the guise of like, oh, I'm average, because I am, and it's whatever. But like back then, I was really weird about it. I was like, I don't want anyone to see my willy, like, 'cause you know in that pubescent weird stage, where, like some kids have pubes, some don't. You get one scraggly one and it falls off, or like, you know, you just don't know if your boys have dropped to someone else's, and you see the biggest, most manly alpha prepubescent teen, and they're showing your junk, and you're like, that looks like my dad's, and there's no way that I have that. And so I didn't know, and so I always wore swim trunks to go into the shower. And so when I came home, I would always do that for a week or two until I knew it was safe to return to being naked in my home. And I just remember sitting in the tub with my swim trunks on, and I was just like, you know, batting it around because it was there, because, you know, you never not have a boner when you're like 12 years old or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I just like kept slapping at it, and I didn't stop. Usually I stop. And wow.
What happened, John?
You know, this is the part of the show where I'd light a cigarette if I could and stare off wistfully into a midnight reverie about my orgasm. But, you know, if I tried to describe it, it would just detract from the overall beauty of the moment. Mm. So, I mean, you would probably remember your first load.
No.
What do you mean?
I don't.
What kind of slut are you? You don't remember your first load? What kind of hand slut are you?
I don't know, man. I know I had a Playboy magazine. I forgot how I acquired it because, you know, we were of the age where Playboy magazines are pretty outdated.
They've been outdated since the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I had a newer model. I forgot.
Was it a Sears catalog?
No, it was a Playboy magazine, but it was like from like that year. It wasn't like a vintage one. Although I did stumble across my grandpa's Playboys. This man had a walk-in closet full of Playboy magazines.
What a connoisseur!
Like fucking. Like, I guess he's a collector or some shit. I don't know. But from, like, literally the 60s and 70s. And I was like, oh, let's take a peek at what they were rocking.
I feel like that this joke has already been made, but it's like masturbating in a time travel device.
Oh,
I feel like that was a Family Guy joke or something.
Yeah, could be. Well, I didn't masturbate. I put them away. Because, for one, I wasn't expecting to see what I saw. For two, I was like...
You never are.
I was like, it feels kind of weird. My grandpa's definitely been in all these.
Oh, you mean like with his eyes?
At least.
Or you mean as an actor in them?
With his eyes.
Oh, okay.
And also with dick in hand.
with his eyes and dick to turn the pages.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought that up, the Playboys, because I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I'm just having like a flashback. So when I was younger, my dad used to take us to this really strange, it's going to sound really weird. He used to take us to get our hair cut at this barber he really liked. And I guess my dad's like me. He's very ritualistic and OCD about like certain things have to be certain ways in certain places. And he took us to this barber. And I don't know if maybe he followed him from another previous location, but it was at this like motel. And we go there, and in the barber shop, like you walk into the motel, there was a pool in the middle. You go off to the side, and there he was, just like in the back corner. And I know it's weird, but it was like legit.
Fucking janitor closet.
No, it was like back then, it seemed like this big regal like for that purpose, but it was actually like a shed out back.
Yeah,
and like had a fucking weed whacker. But we walked in, and it just looked like a regular. There was 2 or 3 chairs. There was always like another older gentleman. They were always older gentlemen. And I just remember going in there, and I was so young. I was like, whatever. And then I remember going in there, and so like he had the countertop, and under the closer to the right side of the countertop, there was a like mini fridge, and on top of the mini fridge were like Hustlers and Playboys, just there. And I like remember sitting there, and I will never like that. I kept looking over, and that was like the first time I saw those just sitting out, and I was just like, and I would like look at them, and then I just remember one time like they were talking at the other end, and I kept like reaching my hand over, making it look I was reading for something, try to flip up the page real inconspicuous, like, and try to catch a titty or something. On a completely opposite note, that was also at that location was when I got bit by a squirrel.
Oh wow.
This guy, the weird porn haircut man, this weird daytime haircut and midnight porn man, was apparently Peanut hand taming the squirrels outside, and he was like, "Yeah, you can give a peanut to the squirrel outside." And I was like, "Oh, gee golly, can I?" And he's like, "Well, just be careful. You gotta be." And I was like, "Oh, I love animals." So I took a peanut. out there, and I don't know if I still have like. I guess I don't. I don't even remember what hand it was or what finger it was. But I went out there and I like held the peanut out, and that motherfucking squirrel came up, and I was like, "This is a beautiful, like Snow White, beautiful Disney princess moment. Like I am about to blossom into a full dress. Like this is amazing." That cocksucker bit my fucking thumb or whatever. It immediately started gushing blood, and I dropped the nut. He grabbed it and ran off up the tree, and I walked inside, and I was like. He's like, "Oh, did you feed the squirrel?" And I was like, "Oh!" Fucking screaming.
He told you be careful.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah. I mean, okay, but like, I mean, that's like, I feel like that's the equivalent of like giving a kid a fucking throwing star and being like, "Make sure you don't puncture yourself."
Well, my grandpa did that too.
Go throw this at a fucking at a nonstick. Go throw this at a metal siding.
I had throwing stars when I was a kid. Swear to God.
I couldn't believe it.
Dude, is there anything I could tell you about my childhood you wouldn't believe?
You know that it was fucking nothing crazy shit like that happened. If you were like, I had a completely well-adjusted normal family life with no additional problems, I'd be like, fuck yourself.
Dude, at some point I had 40 to 50 actual weapons. It's like
what are we talking about? Like unregistered serial numbers scrubbed off?
Not like guns, but like samurai swords, battle axes, like all that shit.
Fucking, what do you mean? What kind of fucking, what do you mean battle axe?
Like, you know.
You just got a hand-me-down from your grandpa?
No, they were
the Viking War?
He ordered them for me. He was into it. He was into weapons.
9-year-old Kyle comes sit on Grandpappy's lap and pulls up a fucking Windows 98 Enter Netscape webpage, and it has like a guy's phone number at the bottom, and he's like, "Now, which one of these do you like the most?" And it's like a sawed-off shotgun, a cannon from the Civil War era, and a fucking hand mace, and you're like, "I like the mace, Grandpa."
Oh, I had a mace. He got me a mace. I had a spear that was twice my size. It was like, dude, and I was in Taekwondo, so I was wicked good with a bow staff. So I would just go out.
Pretty dope.
I would just go out and start doing shit with a spear. It's pretty cool. I didn't cut myself once. Real good with nunchucks.
So after I blew my load in the tub, we have to march our way back to the original subject.
All right.
What else you got from that time that you want to share?
Oh no, that's all. Oh, actually, so that Playboy that I had, the way I disposed of it. So I had it for like.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Keep going.
I had it for like a week or two, and then I got super paranoid and was like,
"Dude, the guilt sets in."
I was like, it wasn't as much guilt as, "Oh my God, I'm gonna get caught." Like if I knew I could hide it forever, I wouldn't have given a fuck. But I was like, there's nowhere to hide this. So my big plan was
you didn't have like a hole in the wall, a vent, a
no
mattress.
No
a mattress.
I had a mattress. But
what the fuck kind of home did you grow up in?
All right, so this is what I slept on. You ready? It was a mattress, but it was a pull-out couch mattress. All right. With a spring, a rusty ass spring sticking up in the middle of it. I cut myself on it every night.
Are you sure you didn't grow up in a cartoon?
I might have. Who's to say? But the hole wasn't big enough to fit the Playboy, and I tried. All right, so anyway.
You didn't think to put it under the mattress?
Dude, that wouldn't have worked.
All
right.
You're right.
So I was like, all right. Waited till my parents left. I ran outside to the back alleyway and like tried to stuff it in the storm drain under the road, right?
Dude, you fucking freaked out.
I went back in, sat for an hour, and was like, that's not good enough. And I went back and got it, took it to the motorcycle shop down the road, and put it in the trash can.
No one can know.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine if you were like older and committed an actual crime, what real guilt would have felt like.
It wasn't guilt. I just didn't want to get caught.
Oh, it was shame.
Yeah, dude. No, it wasn't shame.
Yeah, dude. No.
Fuck. There's a difference.
Dude, so I don't know where or how I got them, but I also got like Playboys at some point. And I had like, so at some point my mom and dad gave me a box to put under my bed that I could lock, that I could like, you know, I was getting older. Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, this reminds me of a really good story. So there I was. So back then, like we had a house computer. What?
Nothing.
We had a Windows like 98, but like it was the desktop that everyone used. And because you can't just, you know, go sputzing off on the keyboard in the middle of the sunroom. Like I would print off, and I don't remember where, but I'd print off pictures, either my friend's house or there when no one else was home, and I'd print off like hentai or like porno images, and I would fold them up, or I'd put them in a folder and put them in that lockbox and lock it. And back then I would draw like porn images because I didn't have like a cell phone that I could look at porn on or anything. So I would draw images and I'd put it in a box, and then
Gotta put the porn in the box.
gotta put the porn in the box. I put the porn inside. Got a big porn box.
That's for you, Jared.
Yeah, that is for you.
All right.
Yeah, I know you're out there. Yeah, I can't even see you in all these lights. It's so bright up here. Anyway, I remember that I was so what I would do is I would get out five or six, like I had like 10 of my favorite images, and I would put them in a semicircle around me, and I would put my back up against the headboard, and I would sit like either cross-legged with my legs out, and I would do it, what the good Lord intended, and I would, and I would just be looking. It's like a panopticon of porn at every geometric angle. Like I would look here, and if I wanted to change the scene, I would look over to this pixelated image to the right, and if that wasn't good enough, I would look over here, and there was like a threesome going on that was like from the Pokemon hentai world. And so I will never forget, I was in there, just really, really just committing a crime. And my brother like opened. First of all, the way that where my bedroom was, it opened up into the living room, so like my mom could have looked in and seen me from the couch. But I think she was laying down. My brother went in, and I think he was gonna ask me, something dumb, because back then we weren't really friends. We were just, we lived in the house together. We didn't like each other. And I just remember opening the door, and I like looking at him locking eyes with me, like. I don't even know if his eyes dropped to see what I was doing, but he just took it all in, and his mouth dropped, and I looked at him and my mouth dropped, and he slammed the door and like scuttered off, and like nothing else. And like I immediately went from like 3/4 to like 5/16, but I finished strong, and I went out there, and I was on the computer, and literally he came up to me and was like, "I hope you washed your hands," and I was like, no.
Why, dude?
But like since then we were a lot closer.
After he had some fucking dirt on you.
Yeah, after he saw, he probably saw like what I had, and he was like, "Oh,
I don't have to be intimidated by it."
I am clearly the alpha.
I guess he's not my big brother.
Fuck you. That is really good. He's like, "Oh, Mom and Dad, I didn't know I had a little brother." They're like, "Don't make fun of your John. Don't make fun of John's penis. He does the best he can with what he has."
Oh man, you were just missing a couple candles, and that would have looked like a fucking satanic ritual with porn.
I'm trying to summon the hentai goddess,
dude. The succubus.
Ooh, yes. Dude, I always thought it was funny that name succubus became, with sucking. That's ironic.
Yeah.
That's just funny word placement.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were we? So I was at church camp. And, oh yeah, that's what we were at. It was the time I found God. Oh my God. Oh. So I actually went to church camp at least once, sometimes twice. When I went the second time, what?
What do you mean at least once, sometimes twice?
Once a summer.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, no.
You can see from a lifelong perspective how that sounds weird.
I
went at least once, sometimes twice.
Things are weird out in church camp land.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'd go one camp to like help set up the camp, like do the gravel, and it was like this beautiful campus, and it looked out over this giant rolling hill, and then there was a waterfront of a lake that you could swim in, and there was this nasty black tar gunk shit at the bottom, and it smelled terrible, and people would dive down off the floating dock, grab it, and smear it all over their bodies, and it was just really
Why?
Because we're kids.
What was it?
It was just nasty gunk.
That's not a thing.
That's the scientific classification.
Where'd it come from? Where'd it go?
Look it up, Mr. Bro.
I don't. Oh, dude, it was classic gunk.
But anyway, I'm gonna move on. You can ponder that if you want. So I was there, and so every day had like a structure. You'd wake up, you go to breakfast way too early. you would do like morning meditation, like you would read, not morning morning worship, what's the word, and you would sit and read like a Bible verse and talk about it. And then it was really cool as a Presbyterian camp, so you go play and do team building exercises, and you like go out and like try to, like you would have 6 stones and 6 people with 1 stone open. You would try to like switch everybody's position, but you couldn't talk, like you had to do it all non-verbally. It was like team building exercise. It was really oh my God, I just realized that maybe that's part of who I am now. Anyway, so I've never really reflected on that until recently. But so you go out there, and then after that you come back for lunch, and then they had so much food there. Like they had like a whole lunch staff, and it was beautiful. It was so much food, and it was amazing. You go back and get seconds. And then you would go and you get break time. You go to the canteen and you'd put money in the beginning of the week, and you'd be able to get snacks and stuff out and take like candy bars down and eat them and run and dick around. And then you come back, and then you would get ready, and then you go to dinner, and then you would have like I think like the morning, evening worship, and then you would have campfire time. And so you go to the campfire, you would do skits, you would do improv, we would sing songs about, Jeebus and stuff. And then they would all like talk about, they'd bring it all together and talk like the lake and the beautiful sounds. Now God put all that here for us. And, as a kid, I ate that shit up. I was like, oh man, God loves us. That's so cool. He's so cool. God is dope. And he put all this here for me, this fucking backwards nowhere Indiana. And so I don't remember what year it was exactly, but that was all important for you to understand where I'm going. So we did this thing where they now it sounds silly, but like they lit a bunch of candles they lit a bunch of candles, put them in a cross in the volleyball sand. And they brought everyone, like it was like this weird devotional, like you go when you're ready and you leave it all there for God. And I just remember going, and I went to like the sand where the cross was in the sand and like where all the wares. And I just remember like falling to my knees, like in the weight of the moment. But even back then, there was nothing. There was nothing happening. Like there was something happening, but it wasn't, there wasn't a voice. There wasn't this connection to a bigger thing. There was almost felt like an expectation, but it was like subconscious. Like it was like, oh, this is supposed to be a momentous occasion. I'm supposed to be here. There were people crying, looking at this cross in the volleyball sand. And I felt like maybe I had to be a part of that. But like the thing that I remember is that there was no like moment of like being spoken to, or no transcendence, or no like epiphany. It was just silence. It was just a vacuum. But like I played the part. Like, and back then I was like, oh, and everyone else came and put their hands on my shoulder and were like, yeah, let it feel, brother. Whatever they said back then. Also with you, whatever they say. And it was interesting because it felt like something was supposed to happen, but it didn't. And I felt like I did everything the way I was supposed to.
And then you played along.
Yeah. It was fun, and then we went and got fucking s'mores, and then went to bed.
Mm-mm-mm.
Can I tell you an analog to that story?
Yeah, sure.
No, you go ahead. You do some talking.
I got nothing, man. I didn't go to... Did I go to... No, I never went to a church camp. I went to church a bunch, but...
Did you ever get touched by the Lord or someone in a robe?
Fuck no.
The Lord?
Oh, I think I got baptized. Yeah, no, I definitely got baptized. I wanted to pee so bad in the water, but I was like, it's probably
did you
bad
do
luck.
full submersion?
Yeah.
Dude, that's very Southern Baptist or Catholic of you.
It was very Southeast Christian church. I'm sure
God,
I'm sure there was quite a fucking saving your soul fee that went along with it.
I bet it was you were on the Jumbotron and everybody was out there singing to the Newsboys.
It was actually not during a actual like Sunday service thing. I forgot when it was, but it was just us in there getting baptized. So that was real cool. It was pretty cash money of them.
They're like, yo, how much money you got? Yeah, we'll get you in.
Yeah, you want to pay that much more? Oh.
If you don't, you know that God, you're going to hell and the devil will win.
Yeah, we'll put you in. We'll baptize you in the devil water if you don't.
Dude, I have a side note, and it'll just take a second.
Of course you do.
When I went to Southeast Christian when I used to go to church, and I remember going all the way up there, and it was when we lived in Indiana, and like we drove all the way out there for like a concert. And they had their Jumbotron, and in between the songs or like the hymn, they had like, the Jumbotron in the middle, like that has the 4 screens, would like light up with like this hellfire. And it was like they brought people around like 4 times to give tithes to. And like they would literally be like, give all you can. If you don't, like, you know, you can't be assured that Satan's not going to get your soul. And I was like, this is the most. Back then I was like, this feels wrong. This feels so manipulative. Because, you know, back then, like my mom worked in like a homeless shelter, worked with, you know, like when she was in downtown Louisville, she was on food stamps and didn't have money to buy food. And so she's very aware of like people's socioeconomic status. And like, I just was raised to like, you know, to consider that. And I was like, this is so like, I thought, because the church I went to was like, he was like, come as you are. Jesus doesn't give a fuck if you're whatever, like fucking show up naked, like welcome, brother, you know. But this church is like, if you don't give us the last penny in your pocket, Satan will dog fuck your daughters and sons. And it was like, Jesus Christ.
You want to hear what the weird thing I would do as a kid to pass the time?
I can't imagine where this is going. Lay it on me.
Oh, dude, it sounds so bad thinking about it. I just remembered it. I would do this all the time, like when I was just bored and zone out. Like, I did this in school too, and this sounds really bad.
Oh God, I can't fucking wait.
And before, I just need to say I've never done this. I'm not an arsonist, but I always think, what would be the best way to burn this place down?
What do you mean, like you? What do you mean? You need okay, yeah, go ahead. No, just leave it. No,
just like what would be the best place to start a fire in here where it would spread the quickest?
You know they have hotlines you can call whenever you have those thoughts, Kyle.
Well, I mean, I stopped going to church.
Was that where it was coming from?
No, I did it in school too. I don't know. It's a way to pass the time. You know how when you're a kid and you're going down the road and you like zoom out and you zone out and you got like that imaginary character running next to the car, jumping and shit. Same concept.
Yeah, for sure.
Except I'm just burning everything down.
Yeah, I'm gonna say those are not congruent concepts.
Well, I don't know what to tell you,
dude. I mean, you know. You're passing the time because you're bored and burning, killing everyone inside. You
know? No one died.
Oh, okay. It was just like an empty
building. Yeah, no. Fuck
so
no.
That's so funny because I did something equivalent to that, but it was much more dangerous. Like I would imagine, like if someone broke in with a gun or something, like I would like be an action hero, and how would I stop them with like the items around me?
I would do that, but it would be what's the best way to get out of here before anyone else.
Oh, okay.
How do I put everyone else between me and the gunman?
You're a fucking American hero.
I'm fucking practical is what I am. I was like 10.
Well, one person's practical is another person's fucking martyr, I guess. That doesn't make sense.
No, it didn't.
So, anyway, that was when I found God. Was then I didn't. Oh. So, dude, the opposite moment of that is when I was in. Oh man, I'm laying it all out here today. So when I was in undergrad, I was dating a girl, and we had an unplanned pregnancy, and that did end in abortion, and it's literally, it couldn't have ended any other way. My life is infinitely better. Her life is infinitely better. But whenever we were in the middle of that, we both, like... Actually, you know what? I don't know if I needed to bring that up, because I don't remember if it happened during that or something else, but that's another piece of my life that I'm going to share.
Well, there you go.
Well, I don't know if that's important or not, but there it is. I took a dump in the car on the way over. I don't know if you need to know that, but... So, anyway, I either went through a breakup or something like that was happening, and I remember laying on the floor of my dorm room, super emotionally upset, and just, like, literally, this is going to sound really dramatic, but I was, like, 22 years old. It's, like, 10 years ago. Laying on the floor and being like, I just want to succumb to the darkness. Satan, take me. Like, take me. And I was, like, laying on the floor crying, and I was, like, just in my head thinking as hard as I could, like, take me, Satan. Like, I want nothing. I want blackness. I want death. And I just laid there, like just screaming in my head, just begging, worshiping for some great, disgusting, evil, malevolent force to occupy my body and take me. And that didn't happen either.
Yeah, John, because there's nothing there.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's not like God's not there, but Satan's home. Like, it's like...
Yeah, that's kind of funny how you had to, within a 10-year span, you went through the two highest extremes and called out to both gods, and neither one answered you.
Like fucking just call upstairs and it's like dial tone, call downstairs and it's like the
Busy.
fucking yeah, I'm in Texas, call back later.
You're like, yeah, I guess I'll fucking believe in nothing because that's my only option.
P.S.
Fuck you two assholes.
P.S. If this is Austin, I still hate you. I'm not real to you. So, yeah, man. I don't know. I think a lot about that. Like, I'd love to go back to that camp and be a counselor because I spent so many. Hold on, I'm not fucking.
All right.
Shut up.
All right.
Keep your lips together.
All right.
I think about going back to that camp and doing, and just being a counselor, giving back, and like, as we.
John, you would make it 5 minutes before you told a kid God isn't real.
So that's the hang up is obviously I mean that's a big deal. I mean, is it a big deal? Like,
yeah.
I mean, the whole point is like to encourage free. Dude, when I was at church camp, I would literally stay awake until 2 a.m. with the camp counselors, and they were like, not teary-eyed, like red-eyed, tired, ready to go to bed, and I'm literally like poking loopholes in every one of the things they're saying, and they're just like, well, you just gotta have faith, and I'm like, okay, but what else? Like, what else is there other than that? And they're like, well, have you tried praying on it or thinking about it? And I was like, yeah, I did. They're like, well, everyone gets tested.
Shit don't work.
And dude, like, I even talked to the pastor, who, safe to say, very nice guy, did come to see me whenever I had super weird stomach gastritis issue years and years ago.
Did he cure you?
Huh?
Did he cure you?
He came, dude. No, this is really fucking funny. So he came in the room. And I have not been in church, but apparently the church congregation is getting smaller and smaller as people are exiling because they're a very liberal, progressive church in southern Indiana.
Oh, that's a bad combo.
Yeah, and so, which is awesome because they're actually a good group of people. Like, they're not religious people that I have an issue with. Like, they're good people. But people are leaving, and he came in, and like, my parents are there, and they probably told him like, well, my sons are both atheists, and they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. What else? So he came in, and his name was Scott, and I was like in like fucking dehydrated, lost like 10 pounds of water, like just in the bed curled up, and getting fluids and not doing much else. And he came in and he was like, "Oh, John," I was like, "Scott," I was like, "Fuck, it's been like 5 to 10 years since I've seen you." Or some amount, is somewhere between that. And he was like, well, and literally his quote was, even in the weird fugue haze I was in, he was like, well, I know you don't believe in this, but is it okay if I pray for you? And I was like, that's fine.
If you can help.
if you can't help it, if it's like a compulsion. And I mean, it was really sweet because from his perspective, like,
yeah,
he was just coming to be nice. But I was just like there in my bed with my modern Western science and like getting healed because of the iterative process of the scientific form. And like, he's just like, God who is in heaven, please heal this boy's inflamed stomach.
Please help this boy pass this kidney stone.
Give him the power to shit and fart.
Well, look what happened, John. You lived.
Oh, dude.
You should thank Scott and maybe God.
And maybe, just maybe, yeah. And maybe God, that was funny.
You know that they have like summer camps that aren't religious based, right? And you can just go and be a mentor to kids or whatever you're looking to do.
I love how you like dismissed me while giving me information at the same time. You can go be a fucking big whatever the fuck.
You go change a fucking life or some bullshit.
Whatever misinformed reason you have. Fuck you. I wanted to go back because like, dude, it was so. It obviously changed who I was. Like, I loved stand up. I love leadership stuff now. I love performance management. I want to be a leader. I want to get a doctorate. Like, it obviously was formative to me in some way.
Yeah, why don't you just be a fucking camp counselor, but like a higher up one, like the guy who organizes all that shit.
His name was Rich, and he wore really tight pants.
You could do that.
My pants are already too tight.
Dude, just get tighter ones or get bigger. Those are your two options.
If you want to be the big dick on campus, his name was really Rich.
If you want to be rich, those pants need to be at least 3 sizes tighter.
You need to have your wife and kids. And it was really funny because he was in a little cabin like on the property, and he was cool. But yeah, I don't know. I thought about that. Like, I feel like it would be really like a homecoming for me, but no one would be there that I remember. And two, you know, that whole little issue of I don't buy into the entire reason we're there.
No, there's other fucking there's ones
yeah,
that
but
aren't.
This is sentimental to me.
Oh, so that specific one.
I have to I have to I have to reconcile
Oh.
my spirituality and death of my religion of my religiosity with the meaning that it brought to me, and I don't think I could play ball. Like I literally think that like what's expected of camp counselors is you have to lead groups in Bible study. And you have to do that. And so like I could do that from a very practical, very objective perspective, but then when I'm like, so what do you think that means? They'd probably be like, well, I think God's saying that he comes to us in a sunbeam and he like butter.
Well, I just think God's saying he's a good man. And we
every time you kiss, an angel gets a boner. And it's like, no, I can't do that. Like I would be like, okay, so comparatively, let's do a comparative literature review. Like what do you think the Quran says? What do you think the Torah says? What do you think a non-religious sectarian secular text would say? And they would be like, I just want to talk about God.
Well, we're gonna teach you boys today what a metaphor is.
You guys like reading fiction? You guys, you know it's the greatest story ever told, right?
I'm gonna go ahead and let you in on what King James was getting at.
It's called The Man in Power Writes the Book. And he gets to take out the shit he doesn't like.
Yeah, the Bible was technically like 7 times longer or some shit.
Well,
I want to read the behind the scenes Bible.
So I actually have a book that'll tell you what that's about. And you know what? It wasn't a lot more than it is now. You know what's really fascinating to me is that when they translated it from the Greek or the whatever the original Arabic language is, there's certain words that don't translate, so they filled it in, and it gives a completely new meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the memes that's like everything in the Bible, the Quran, and what's the other one?
Torah.
The Torah all take place in this little circle, and it's on the globe. Like it's all just right there in like Jerusalem is where everything takes place.
Yep.
It's like, did God not know about all this stuff either?
Dude, he had a that's like his pet prize. Like, what is this? Where's boys?
That was back when God was involved in everything and only cared about 1 inch of land.
Yeah, dude.
And now he's gone forever.
That's right. That's where the Zionists and the post-Zionists are fighting about.
What if the aliens killed God?
What if God created the aliens?
What if God was an alien?
He would have to be. By our standards. He'd be outside of the universe. He'd be outside of the galaxy.
You know, I saw a shirt once that said God was a mushroom.
That's amazing. That's Terrence McKenna shit.
Oh, I like that boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good man.
Dude, I know this is going to be a giant segue, but have you ever been in a situation where you're talking to somebody and you literally start getting fight or flight symptoms?
Anxiety?
Mm-hmm.
You mean like are you saying you're getting anxiety right now?
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, what's the... Give me more information. You mean just like a casual conversation with 2 people?
Yeah, like you talk to somebody and then all of a sudden your like heart is racing and you feel trapped in that conversation because they have no social awareness and they keep bumbling on about mindless, pointless information.
I think I used to. I
Do
definitely...
you just check out now?
Yes, like you saw in the store earlier today, twice.
So the reason I bring this up is my landlord is such a nice guy, and I have an amazing deal here. He is the driest, most mundane, long-winded, socially awkward, complete no social awareness, endless, weird cadence, breathless talker, and I feel physically trapped when I talk to him. He comes into the house that the house that he owns and I live in, and okay, let's just say like the other day, he needed to look at the ceiling fan.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes in and like I have such a history. I've been here for like 8 years. I know what's gonna happen, and I try to speed it up. Doesn't fucking matter.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. He comes in and I'm like, oh, hey, here's the fan. And I start to walk out of the room to like, and he's like, oh, hey, the fan, I got it a few years ago. And, I just, I can't even, and it's like, he's a nice guy, but he has no understanding of what is like relevant, interesting, poignant, conversation-based information and what is mindless gavel, like what is just pointless to fucking communicate about. And it's like literally like reading the dictionary, but the dictionary is literally
structured.
Well, it's like reading a description of every micron in the room. You're like, I just want this, and you can't. And so he's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, well, it's up there. And he's like, oh, well, I was here about 15 years ago. And we set it up there. And I thought, is it an electricity issue? Is it a current issue? Is it a house? Is it the house is sitting weird? I'm like, yeah, I don't know, And he's like, oh, well, the previous tenant and I talked about that too. And I was like, okay, okay. And so I got away. Go in the room. The second he sees movement or anything, he's like, hey, so I took a look up here. If you want to come look at it, I'm like, okay. I go in there, and he's got the whole thing up, and he's like, I see the wire here, and it's like the conversation is staggered enough to where when you start to initiate the okay, I need to break in this because this isn't stuff I need to fucking talk to you about, and it's your job to fix, and I don't care. Did they start talking again? So it's like, yeah, so anyway, in that pause right there, you're like, I'm gonna intervene. There's gonna be an insurgence against your fucking monopoly in this bullshit conversation, and they immediately start talking again because they're not done. That's just their cadence of thought. That's just like how slow their thought patterns work, and it's like that, and it just goes on and on. And I literally the other day. And I was talking to several people this. I literally had an almost anxiety attack. I went into fight or flight mode, and I was like, okay, yeah, all right, okay, okay, yep, oh, yeah, I know, okay, yep, yeah, oh, yeah, okay, get the fuck out, get the fuck, dude, just get out of my, oh my God, dude, I literally, after that, I had to take several deep breaths. I obviously didn't freak out, but I was just I felt fucking trapped in my own house. I was like, dude, shut the just leave. You're a good guy. I know you have no social awareness of this, and you're just trying to be good. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about your house. I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about what happened. I just want to go into my room and jerk off or do whatever it is that I'm going to do. I don't want to be trapped in my own home.
Yeah. Old people are just fucking, I think they're just
He's
really.
not old. He's in his early 40s.
Oh.
He's literally he's a cool hipster gay dude. He's super sweet. Love him within here. He's a great landlord for the most part. It literally feels like a bad trip. It feels like I'm afraid. I am no longer want to do psychedelics because if a trip ends up like that, I do not want to experience that. It feels so bad.
You'll be all right. You should do psychedelics. Well, shit, that kind of derailed my whole process. I was going to say old people just seem really fucking lonely and they just ramble because I run into this shit all the time when I'm working. I try to just fucking it feels like I'm fucking trespassing even when I'm not going in people's backyards, when I'm just going up to their homes and hooking on to shit. It feels like I'm trespassing, and the fact that I don't want to talk to them, I fucking sneak around their yards and just try to do it as quick as possible and quiet as possible. And when they fucking catch me out there, then I get stuck in a 20-minute conversation.
And I think you told me it's the same script every time.
Yeah. It's what are you doing? Is there a problem? Are you turning off the gas? Is there a leak? Nope. None of that.
Nope.
You know how your cable's getting buried? I'm making sure they're not going to hit this line. Oh, or the literal only other variant to that is, oh, your neighbor next door is getting a cable buried and I'm marking your line so they don't hit it. And then they're like, well, what does that have to do with me in my yard? And I'm like, well, as I said, I'm marking your line so they don't hit it. Well, they shouldn't be anywhere near my yard. Yes, but I'm making sure that your line doesn't go under. See how we can't see the line?
That's because somebody did a good job.
Dude, it's infuriating. And some dude tried to buck up on me the other day because we hook onto that tracer wire I told you about at gas meters. There's a little copper wire that hangs out of the ground that you clip onto, and it sends an electric signal through that, and that's what we trace to mark it. And 7 times out of 10, it's there. But those 3 other times, there's nothing you can do except dig. So you have to get a shovel and dig all the way down to the fitting, which is somewhere between 1 foot and 7 feet deep into the ground, just depending on how the tech.
Just small area.
Yeah, it just depends on how the fucking pipe installer felt that day. So you dig and you dig and you dig until you get to it, and then about, again, 7 times out of 10, you'll find the wire somewhere along the way, but then there's 3 times you won't, and so then you just can't do anything about it, and you send it.
You don't just dig up the whole yard.
No, that'd be fun. I'd do that.
No, you have a weird affinity for just digging straight down.
Dude, it's great. It's fucking, yeah, it's nice. Anyway.
I feel like I never really know who you are. The more I learn about you, the picture it paints is a weird portrait.
Yeah, I feel like what you knew about me, if you ask someone if someone asked you to explain me before we actually started hanging out, you'd feel like you had a much better grasp on me then.
Dude, fucking did exactly. They're like describing. I was like, oh, extremely nice, smart guy who's funny and super chill, super calm, and natural anxiety medication. Like, and now I'm like, I don't know. Is he the creator of the universe who likes digging straight down? What a strange assortment of attributes you have.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like a sim with random attributes. Anyway,
just random code there to fuck up everything else.
Yeah, it's my passion. I just like fucking with people. Anyway, so this guy came out of his house, and actually he didn't come out of his house. I saw him. He was an old dude, probably about late 50s, recently retired. You can tell the type. He was right in that point of his life to where he had just been retired. And I just profiled the shit out of this guy. It's not like I had a conversation with him. But he was just at that point where he'd been retired long enough to where he's really delved into, like, the health of his grass. So he's just, like...
the midlife stage every human being goes
just so
through,
fucking
just
bored,
becoming so concerned with the health of the grass.
As I saw him, he came out of his house and was like bent over in his yard looking at his grass and like moving his decorative stone around in a specific way. And I was like, oh my fucking God, I know I have to dig in this guy's yard. And I went up there. Like, as soon as he went in the house, I ran up to his meter real quick while he was in the house. And I was like, yep, no wire here. So I went back to my truck, waited for him to come out and go back in. It was like fucking playing Zelda with the guards, like waiting for their cycle. So as soon as he went back in, I grabbed my fucking shovel and ran back to his gas meter and was hoping it was going to be right there. I had to dig 4 fucking feet deep in this guy's yard. I had a mountain of dirt next to me. And
oh my God, I bet he would have split his jeans.
Dude, he sure did, because he came around the corner and he was like, his hands were like shaking. He was like, who are you and what are you doing in my yard? And I was like, work.
Hey there, my name's Kyle.
Yeah, literally, just customer service mode. I was like, hey, I'm marking lines for LG&E. I'm just making sure. And he was like, oh, they're getting work done across the street. Well, what are you doing in my yard? And I was like, well, your gas service goes to the gas main on that side of the road. And he was like, well, why would they be digging in my yard? Well, your gas service goes to the gas main on that side of the yard, and I have to hook up here to make sure that they don't hit it over there. And he's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, well, I don't make the rules. I don't know.
Oh my God, I couldn't care less.
Here's the thing, I didn't install it. Maybe it doesn't. Who's to say?
Were you here when your house was built?
Yeah, you might have been. That's fine. You're probably checking on the grass.
You dinosaur fuck.
Well, he was like, so why are you digging? And I was like, because there's supposed to be. I had to fucking explain the whole goddamn process to him. And he was like, so when you're done, you're gonna put everything back exactly how you found it, right? And I was like, no, I'm gonna leave this fucking hole in your yard. Yes, I'm gonna put it all. I'm gonna put the dirt back in the ground. And he was like, okay, well, I would appreciate it if you tell me next time. And I was like, no, I'm not going to.
You know what? For you, sir, I will intentionally leave a note that no one will ever notify you of any work being done.
Yeah, because I want to have this exact same conversation in 2 weeks. Because you're so fucking bored, you'll make me do it again.
Dude, I love that. You come back and he's like, oh, and you're like, what's up? It's your
hey
boy.
there. Guess who's getting the cable buried? It's the neighbors in the next neighborhood over.
I'd swing by and pay my old pal a visit.
Yeah, I just want to fuck up your yard real quick.
Dude, your yard is so well manicured. I just thought to myself, what would be the best place to start a fire?
Yeah. I always came to the conclusion it'd be to light a match and put it in the middle of a book.
Really?
Yeah.
That would immediately extinguish it.
Yeah, I was a dumb kid. I didn't know.
I closed the book and it burst into flame.
Yeah, see, that explains right there. I'm not a fucking arsonist.
Yeah, well, not for lack of trying, but for lack of understanding.
I never tried. It was
so
it was
that
a
is actually a
fantasy
great
world.
segue, Kyle. So something I learned about my friend Kyle here is that he. This is gonna sound really mean, but it's not because he laughs about it. Kyle is functionally illiterate, which means he does not have his GED. So in the eyes of the government, he's fucking illiterate.
Yep.
And that makes me, he's not going to give me anything because he's making me look like the asshole.
No, it's pretty hurtful.
Shut up. Oh, my God. We were laughing about it for the last few weeks.
No,
Every
I don't
time
give
he
a
does
fuck.
anything, he's like, "Well, John, remember, I can't read."
I don't give a fuck. In my mind, the further I make it without a GED, it's a better success story.
I mean, you're not wrong. That is the American dream. I came here from my daddy's loins. I don't have nothing. I can't understand nothing. And I look at me.
Look at me now. I think I'm successful, but I can't say for sure.
I sure do eat a lot of boxes of Triscuits.
I got a lot of zeros in my bank account. I just don't know which side of the one they're on.
I don't know if it's on the left side or the right side of the little dot. If that's good. Oh man, there was something else I was gonna say. Oh, okay. We talked about finding God and masturbating. We talked. Was that Bonesaw?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Mr. Saw. Welcome to season 3.
He's been dormant for a while. Dude, I had the epiphany of an unproductive day because I DoorDashed myself $30 of Taco Bell at noon.
I'm gonna need you to run that back.
That's how you know it's not going to be a productive day.
You DoorDashed yourself? Like you ordered it, you went and picked it up yourself?
No, I DoorDashed my food for me. $30 of food for me from Taco Bell.
Okay.
What are you not understanding?
Okay, so the way you're telling the story made it sound like you got on the DoorDash app and you placed an order, and then you went on the DoorDash driver app and you accepted the order and you picked it up yourself.
No. I DoorDashed $30.
And then drove it to where you picked it up and then drove back to where you were before.
Left myself a fat tip.
Yo, I'm dope at this.
Yeah, dude.
My driver was attractive.
Dude. Yeah, so that was
Dude,
my
a
day.
$30 Taco Bell order is never an indicator of a successful day.
No, and 5 of those things were those little dollar.
Dude, you talking about the Chipotle things?
Yeah, dude,
oh,
those things.
Dude, those are fire.
Because I was 3 of those, and then just 2 other things. But the 2 other things were those quesalupa things.
Those
but
are no way. Those are $10 a piece.
the way I make them. They sure are.
I want you to make a quesalupa, but I want it to be a pizza, and you're gonna have to pick it up from Papa John's.
Dude, I put instead of beef, I get chicken. Which is like an extra $1, and then I get extra chicken, which is like an extra $2 somehow, and then I get no lettuce, extra cheese, cream.
Sacre. Oh my God, sacre. Why was it just that condiment?
That's what I want, man.
So I got avocados, pickles, black olives, sacre, lettuce.
And somehow that ends up being a $10 taco.
Dude, I think you're getting fucked.
I don't care.
I don't care. Fuck away.
Dude. I'm already fucking myself up with the quesalupa. Might as well get my wallet. Might as well get fucked too.
You are like the quesalupa spokesperson.
Dude, they're fucking dope.
Isn't it just a taco wrapped in a bigger, looser taco?
That's fucking deep fried. straight from Mexico.
The way Papi and Mama,
That is
the way they wanted it to be.
that is authentic
That sounded
Mexican.
Italian. And that is the way Mama wanted it to be. It sounds
Stop.
Italian still.
You're
yeah.
being racist.
Okay, can we talk about that? That is not
Nope.
racism. Yes, we can. Shut up. That is not racism, not systematically oppressing a group by making an off-color joke about a phonetic difference in our language.
Sounds pretty simple-minded of you, John.
Yeah. All right. I'll allow you that. So here we are. The end of season 3, episode 1.
I thought you were just straight up the end of season 3. We'll see you in 3 months for season 4.
So it has been a hell of a run.
Man, this has been a crazy season.
Dude.
Classics such as masturbating and God.
Do you remember that time, dude?
Yeah,
Man, that was meaningful.
I did.
Yod!
Yeah.
Dude, did I tell you I went to Florida for my nephew's wedding?
Yeah. Are you talking to me or the podcast? Because we've definitely talked about it a lot.
What do you mean the digital collection of our audio? What do you fucking mean? I'm talking to you.
All right. Well, do you want me to answer truthfully, or do you want me to answer in a way that makes this?
I want to.
Or have you already been distracted by another story? right.
I want to talk about something else.
What do we have now?
Dude, I'm... Shut up. All right, I want to talk about something else. So I got this book called Biocentrism. What?
Nothing.
Well, I got a book.
Nothing. I just thought we got through a whole podcast.
Without me referencing a book?
It was-
Fuck you.
Besides the Bible, if
Fuck
that counts.
you.
All right.
It's called Biocentrism, and it's by, actually, he wrote a book on that's now a fundamental textbook for genetic material and like understanding genes, I think. He has like written all these articles. So this book is actually written with this other guy who is an astronomer. And basically biocentrism is that the universe, this is right up your alley. Basically says the universe cannot exist without the interaction of a conscious being. Because when things are not, like he talks about, like the double slit experiment?
Yes.
Okay. Zero latency. Yes, I've been waiting for this. I'm so fucking prepared. So you know how, okay, for those who don't know, the double slit experiment was done and it's been replicated hundreds and hundreds of times. Essentially, you can either know energy is either a waveform or it's a single point or it's like a straight line. And or it's a collection of straight lines. And so, but when you measure it, it adheres to one or the other. But when you're not measuring it, it has a wave function. But when you measure it, it takes on, and it does that. And there's all, do you know the principle of complementarity?
No.
Which says that if you have two that are part of the same, and something over here happens instantaneously,
Oh, yeah.
it takes without even measuring.
Yeah.
So basically, that's the quantum mechanics world. That like if you measure something that's linked, like if you shoot two in opposite directions, and something happens over here, and it changes because you measure it without even measuring the other one, it automatically, instantaneously changes to match that.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what it's saying is that when you don't look at objects, they are there, but the colors and the perception we have is literally based on our perception of those things. And so, like, what they're saying is that we're just seeing photons bouncing up. So the objects still exist, but they may exist in this potential state. And so as far as I am in the book, it basically is saying that he's creating a new spirituality based on that reality is literally governed by our consciousness of reality. So it's not our reality, our perception creates reality, but it's that you can't separate those two.
Mm.
And it's really interesting. I'm about, I say like a third to a half the way through. But it's really interesting because I'm looking, I'm kind of becoming spiritual as I get older, and I'm looking for scientific, meaningful things that are not, a big angry dude in the sky.
Yeah, just do ayahuasca.
All right, that's quite a jump.
I'll do it with you.
I know you will, buddy.
Let's go meet a shaman.
You want to do some heroin? I'll do it with you.
No, heroin's not spiritual.
No.
Heroin's like the opposite of spiritual.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, but ayahuasca now that's some spirits. Yeah, dude. That sounds like that dude's coming up with a roundabout way of saying it's a simulation.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
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 You stare wistfully out. Yeah.
It is.
It all comes full circle, baby.
I'm telling you, man. You'll see.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to Season 3, Episode 1 of Savage Discourse. I'm John.
Kyle.
And we hope that you'll join us on Season 2 on Season 3, Episode 2, or Season 4, Episode 1.
Who's to say? We might even go back to Season 2, Episode 14. Who's to say?
Oh, shit, dude. We weren't even that far in Season 2.
Oh, we could get there.
Oh, we already got Episode 5.
Let's start from the top and work our way down. Let's start at Season 2, Episode 99.
No, we'll start at Season 20, Episode 15.
Oh, well, what happens when we get back to here? Are we done?
No, so what we do is we go into negative, like, bizarro numbers where it's like 1 divided by the imaginary number.
There would be no way for anyone to follow any of that. Not like they do now. Not like our fan base would be crippled if we did that.
They would be like, oh, we can't keep up.
Yeah.
Well, for those of you who listen, we love you so much, and we do this for you.
Mwah.
No one else. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more than that.
That's too much. That's too many woogities.
I'm sorry. Hey, shut up. That is shut up.
Prove it.
See you next time.
Bye.